All right, we are live, and I have a question for you guys. Do you think it's possible to retire early with a minimum wage income? Well, in today's video, not only we're going to talk about that, but I'm actually going to invite someone on a panel that's going to be sharing her stories on how she was able to retire early, and she looks very young, but how she was able to retire early from a minimum wage income and built a real estate empire. So we're gonna discuss about all that coming up after the intro.
Hey, yeah, it's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah, wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. I create content to motivate millennials in increasing their net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. I love to create content about what I currently do, which is, make, keep, and multiply money, right? So we're gonna talk about all that today. But first, I gotta give a couple shout outs on the chat. But before I even get there, I want to make sure, guys, you hit the like button as you come in. Hit the like button and make sure you subscribe and with the bell clicking off. Right. So, with that said, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Is it possible to retire even if you have a minimum wage income? Now, very quickly, guys, I actually have a course, the Technical Investor course. And this is actually a part in my course where I talk about how to retire in 10 years or less with a McDonald's job, with a job at McDonald's. And I'll walk you through a simulation of all the decisions I would have take if I had a very low income and to retire within 10 years or less. Whether you invested that into the stock market or crypto market, it's possible. But again, it's not even about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And then if you could find a way to keep that money and you multiply that money, it's even better, right? But the guest that I have for you tonight was able to do that, not with stocks, not with cryptocurrencies, but with real estate. So it doesn't even matter which vehicle you use to achieve this goal. As long as you're determined to achieve it, you can do it. And I want to provide different perspective out there. But before I introduce my guest, I want to go very quickly on the chat. Shout out to you, Afromex family. Salute. Thank you for coming here. Well, welcome, Wally. Thank you for being here with all those fires from the intro. Thank you very much. People who were early and watched the intro. M. Charles XD, hello. How are you doing? She stole my thunder. Hope you are doing good. I know it's getting very cold out there in these Montreal streets, so I hope you got your sweaters and that keeps you warm. But hey, guys, the Wealth Engineering sweaters, the new versions are available on the website. So make sure you check it out if you're interested. And shout out to you, Jenny Morena. How are you doing? Greetings to you. I think we were talking earlier today. And millennials in the house, rise up. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. We need to learn how to invest in our personal finance, invest in our growing our portfolio, and even pass that wealth to the next generation. So I'm all about that. And millennials, we need to start doing the work now because we do not have the same luxury as our other generation that has safe jobs, right? This is definitely not the same for us. And shout out to you, Lindsay Joseph. She actually got her shirt with a beautiful picture that she was able to send me. We have that on Instagram. So shout out the new shirts, guys, are looking in mint condition. They're looking very good. So thank you for your support, Lindsay. And all right, guys. All right. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to invite on the panel my guest for tonight, Mrs. Lashus Journey. Lashus, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Hi, everyone.
Thank you very much. Now, for those who may not know who you are, could you talk a little bit about yourself? What do you do? And go from there?
Hi everyone. So my name is Carisha, aka Lashus Journey, and I moved to the state back in 2006. I'm from Jamaica, and I've been working at Walmart since up until last year, 2021. And I have five children, two
Wow.
grandbabies, one on the way, about to be three grandbabies, and I'm living the American dream. So I came here back in 2006, and that was a dream come true because growing up as a kid, I grew up in a third world country. My parents was very poor, so I grew up in poverty. And so ever since I was younger, ever since I was little, my dream was to come to the States because people that leave the community and go away and come back, they
Hmm.
normally look better. They have better stuff, and stuff like that. So as a kid, look, growing up from ever since I know myself, my dream was to come to the United States, and I live with that inside of me, and I just work towards it. So
Wow.
yeah, and I it ended up where I came here back in 2006. I tried it at the U.S. Embassy once back in 2000, and they denied me the visa. I didn't get it. So back in 2006, we found out there was a program that come into the United States. It was 2,000 US dollars to come here. My aunt, she told me, she said, if you find a program that to go to the United States, I can help you. I'll help you to come there. So I'm like, okay. So I did. In Jamaica, you search the Jamaican classify. It's like for job, and I found a job in Destin, Florida. It was
Mm.
coming here to clean work at a hotel. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay. So I got through. They grant me the visa, and it's the rest is history.
All
So
right. All right.
I get here.
But yeah, so basically, I heard. Did I heard this right? You said that the last year that you work at Walmart was in 2021. So that was
Exactly.
basically last year.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you is it fair to say you retired last year?
It's kind of like semi-retire. I don't have to go back to work.
Okay.
Actually, I have a 5-month-old baby. So what I did, I'm actually out on maternity leave. I've been out since last year May,
All right. So,
and
but
I don't plan on going back. I'm okay. I'm 41 years old. I think,
wow,
yeah, I'm at the spot where I can walk away from my day job because we have,
nice.
yes, I
So
invest in.
just to be clear, that means that you're making more money from your investments to cover your living expenses, and that's why you mean that you can walk away from your job because your investments are covering that. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Well, hey, a couple of things I want to break down because man, that's a very inspiring story. And actually, she has a YouTube channel as well, Lashus Journey. So I'm actually going to drop the link um, in the chat uh, so that maybe you guys can go check it out at some point. But yeah, she's living. She's now in a journey on a YouTube channel. She's actually sharing that a retired lifestyle. I think this morning you had a special manicure you had going on. Is that
yes,
it?
yes.
All right,
My
all right,
daughter, too. Yes, every month we have our nail tech come in and she, do our manicure, pedicure, me and my daughter and
all
stuff.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Please share some love as well. Now before we dive deeper, I usually ask those questions to all my guests, right? And
Mhm.
basically, what I like to know is thinking back of the days you were in high school, right? Let's say you were in high school. What were you thinking that you were going to do to make money? Like, were you thinking you were going to be an astronaut? Like, were you going to think that you were going to be the first lady of Jamaica? Like, what were you thinking that you were going to do in high school? And could you describe me that a little bit?
Actually, I was a dreamer, still a dreamer. It's
Mm.
I think I stayed 1 year in high school. I didn't
Oh,
complete high school.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because in Jamaica you have all age school. So after
Yeah.
all age school, I started high school the first year, and then I run away for a moment, age 15. So I've been on my own since age 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so even then, back then, what were you thinking that you were going to do? Like as you say, you're a dreamer. Like, what were you dreaming about in terms of either building wealth or jobs or anything that has to do with income?
Okay. So back home, after being on my own, I went to a I went to a cosmetology school and I
Okay.
learned to do hair and stuff like that. So I was doing that back home, but it wasn't making no money. So I went to work on a construction site. I got
Okay.
pregnant when I was 17 with my son. I got pregnant at 17. I have my son at 18.
Ooh.
So I was always a strong person and I was always working. I was always a hustler. I was always street smart. So
Mm.
it's
Ye-
but business wise, I wasn't at the time. I used to work on the site and I used to sell stuff. So I
mm.
used to sell juice and I used to sell like snacks and stuff like that. I don't know if you know construction site work. It's a lot of guys that work on
Yeah.
construction sites. So I would sell juice. I would sell and back home, I'm from Jamaica, so back home, I was always selling stuff. I would sell, yeah.
Yeah,
Right back
entrepreneur, and that's
on
the
here, but
entrepreneur
yeah,
spirit right there.
yes,
Entrepreneur spirit. All right,
uh-huh.
all right. So now thinking back of those days, right? You remember back in the days, what you were doing to make money, and then looking at back now, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned along the way?
The biggest lesson I learned along the way is, just don't take nothing for granted because I'll say, life is very short and we just have to take care of people. We can't take people for granted, and I think that would be my biggest lesson because I have a brother that I lost,
Mhm.
at 28. So no, I just live life, just enjoy every day, and that's why that lead me to walk away from my day job as well. I want to enjoy my life because you never know, tomorrow is not promised.
Mhm.
So
So yeah, make the best out of
it's
it
the
while
best
you're
of
here, and don't take it for granted.
exactly. Take care
Absolutely.
of the people around you.
I
So
I always like to ask this question because like it's to me it's so surprising to hear the different answers people have, and throughout your experience, and each people's experience are unique, but what you get along the way, it's something that people can learn and share along the way as well. But thank you for sharing that with us today.
oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so we're going to dive deeper on the topic. So now when so where you were like financially, so basically just before you started working on your plan, like could you tell me a little bit about where were you, like what were you doing, and then what was it that triggered you that said, you know what, I want to start changing my life for the better? Could you tell me a little bit about that segment in your journey?
Okay, so I came to the state. When I came to the state, I had two sons at the time, so I leave my sons back home. So it was just me, and I came here to
Mhm.
work. And my mom, I have my parents there, so I know, okay, this is it. I get the opportunity that I've been waiting for. So when I came here, I started doing two jobs and start working and stuff like that. End up racking up some credit cards. Come
Like
here, get some credit card. But I was always working two jobs, so trying
oh.
to pay them off as a single mom. So it's and yeah, and a car
Mhm.
payment. That's where I go wrong. I got a car payment and the credit card. So then I went to the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University, and that's when back in 2013, and that's when I started learning about investments. But
Okay.
I get a job at Walmart in 2006 when I came here. So I was working at Walmart and working at the Hilton. So I
For
was
basically
working full
6
time.
years. You were working at Walmart for 6 years when you started doing the Dave Ramsey University.
Yes, I was
Uh,
working there. Yeah.
now, here's what I want to know. Like, so let's see 2011.
Hmm.
How was your life then, and how did you even got into Dave Ramsey? Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand.
Hmm.
Basically, you said that you were racking credit cards debt, right?
Hmm.
And then what was happening? Did something happen, or did you just decided, you know what, I just need to change my life? Like, I'm trying to understand what triggered you to stop
Uh-huh.
what you were currently doing, and starting a different,
Okay.
like a different journey.
Yeah, so in 2011, okay, so in 2011, I moved on I had a fiance at the time, a boyfriend at the time. had a daughter and everything after I came here. So then I become a single mom again because it was just me. I walk away from that. And
Mm.
after I walk away from that relationship, that's when I did Dave Ramsey. I start going to church after I get out of that relationship. out of that unhealthy situation, I start going to church because I'm like, I go straight to church. So I was in church, and then they announce that there's a course they're gonna do. You pay $100, you give them a check for $100, and if you complete the course, you get back that 100 that check.
Oh, nice.
So it forces you to complete it because you're gonna get back your money. So I'm like, okay.
That's a good
So
idea.
yes, so I did that financial peace university in church. Took about 5 6 months because they do
Mm-hmm.
it every week. Somebody teaching you. So I'm like, okay, so that's how I started learning about investment. But I was always working at Walmart since 2006, so I was contributing to my 401k. I didn't know what it was.
Mm,
Somebody at my job told me about it. Said, put money in this and in that. So I started putting money in my stock and
mm-hmm.
into my 401k, not knowing what it was.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of us start like that on our professional life. Basically, the work takes care of it. We don't really know what it does, but hey, at least it's something. It's better than nothing. But yeah, also the church really helped you out, basically guiding you along the way, and that came at the good time because you were a single mother with two kids at the time, and then you had like all these credit card bills, so you had to figure it out. And I guess that's why you were interested in this course. And hey, if you're going to get your money back, why not, right?
Exactly. And then that was with three kids. Because in Jamaica, I had two, and then I have one when I come
Oh,
here, so that was three.
wow, wow, yeah, you gotta do it. So let me give a quick shout out to the chat very quick. I see Mr. Peter Investor M here. Thank you very much for being here. Our first members of the group, the Wealth Engineers. Thank you very much. Let me see, Miss. Is it Laquisha? Yes, probably Laquisha. But a Blind Guide, his wife, their life, very good channels. Lots of energy. Thank you for coming here and salute. Good day to everyone. Great story of resilience. Absolutely, absolutely. And I really wanted to have Lash's here, Lash's journey on the panel here, because there is so many excuses that I hear. Many people say, yes, I have 5 kids. Yes, I have my wife. Yes, I have a lot of bills. Yes, I have, like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But she was in a situation where she had all of that and more challenges and still managed to do it, guys. So there is no excuse. Once you put your mind into it, you can achieve it. We're going to dive deeper into that. But yes, great story of resilience, and it needs to be told because that could inspire someone to actually go there. Wally, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Tasha, how she grows. Hey, we'll hope we can connect early next week. I mean, technically it's this week on Getty's wormhole, but we'll talk about that later. Let me see, Mrs. Gardner. How are you doing? Good evening to you as well. Need watches. Thank you for coming here. Salute to you. Peter Investor M, currently the sponsor of the stream with the $5 super chat. No words, just pure love on top of being a member. Thank you very much. And of course, your friend Melissa James. Shout out to you. I hope you guys are still working out on that goal, right? You guys made a goal on was it a fitness goal, right? I remember you guys were working on that. You had it live on stream, so I'm going to keep you both accountable on this goal, right? Shout out to Melissa and Game Over and everyone who's here. Thank you very much for your support. But all right, guys. So yes, I'm. You went to the course, and it was a Dame Ramsey course. It took you what 5 minutes, to 5 months to learn. What would you say was your main takeaway after going to that course about investing?
Um, it was assets and liability.
Mm,
The difference between assets and liability. I wasn't even thinking about that until that course ends, and I knew the difference between assets and liability and investments, and how important life insurance and stuff like that. Just the different kind of investment, the
mhm,
IRA, the index fund, and everything. That's where everything started, and then after that I start digging deeper,
mm.
start searching for more.
It's a good way to start, all around, kind of like elementary way of getting, and then once you start getting deeper, you can focus on one route at the time. But yeah, that's actually what I do on my course, technical investor course. It's really for beginners or people who've been investing about a year or less, or maximum 2 years.
Uh-huh.
If you've been investing for about 1 to 2 years or less, or no
Uh-huh.
investing at all, then my technical investor course is a good way to go. It's the exact same thing, a walk around with everything that you need to know before you start investing, so that when you do start, you start on the right path. And again, it doesn't even matter where you take the course, as long as you get the knowledge. You
You're
could
not.
either listen to tons of video on YouTube if you don't want to pay for it, but as long as you put the work, guys, you gotta do it. And that's
Yes.
the first step. That is the first step of your financial journey. And for you, thank God that happened in the church. But then that was the first step. And once you understood the clear difference between between assets and liability, then now your vision changed. I'm sure it was, right? Now,
Yeah.
what were you thinking? Because you were still working on Walmart back then, but how were you starting to shape your strategies so that you can use your Walmart salary to achieve acquiring more assets instead of liability?
The first thing what I do after I leave that course, get done with it, I start dumping debt. I start paying off the credit card. I did the baby step where pay smallest to largest. I start doubling up on my car payment, get rid of the car payment because I figure that car is a liability and I need to get rid of this car. So
Mm,
it's gonna hold me back along with the credit card. So I start paying off all my debt, which I start getting extra job. I open a cleaning service and was making extra money where I clean people's
nice.
house. And I still have that service up to today. And where, I clean houses, big houses, and, it pays really good. And I
Mm,
start paying off all my credit cards because I see all the interest, everything that was going to the bank. And, I just, get serious about it. And I was very determined on paying it off, and I pay off the credit card. It took me a while, probably
uh,
3, 4 years to get
wow, you racked up a lot of money on that credit
like
card, eh?
$20,000 in
Ooh.
credit card. Yeah, I was going down that
Yeah,
road.
you could, and you don't realize how fast it adds up, right? But once it starts adding up, it's a different story. It really adds up, eh? Wait, give me a second. I want to show you guys something because I love what you're seeing, because you are a impersonation of everything that I'm always talking about, and I love that you're saying it because for those who are not catching it, there is a many gems that she's doing, she's saying, and it may sound casual because she's done the work already, but if you are at a step where you haven't done the work yet, I will break it down for you. But first, I really want to show you guys this because for those who have taken my course that are in the chat, you know exactly what I'm saying. But I'll show you guys this. So this is a video that I have. It's about 75 minutes long, over an hour. How to retire in 10 years or less with with a job at McDonald's. All right. So I go over that. So I actually use stocks and crypto to build up your wealth. But the first thing I said, you need to increase your income. You need to increase your skills, even if you have to have a side hustle, right? Get a side hustle. Try to find something, a service, right, that anyone needs. And if you could increase the skills and then you go get the side hustle, you now increasing your income. Then, if you now change your mindset so that you reduce your expenses while you increase your income, you end up with more cash in your hand that you can start allocating anywhere, whether it's an investment right away or whether it's paying your debt. And what I like about the paying the debt part is, now, if you pay your debt fast, then you clear that out. You have more money to invest in at the end of the month because you no longer have the debt, right? If you have to pay the credit card and you get rid of that after 2 years, then after 2 years you're free of that card. Then if you were doing the same work for the car, then 2 years from now you pay off the card, you pay off the car, and you have a lot more money. I mean, some cars might be 200, some cars might be 300 a month, 500 a month, plus gas and all that, plus insurance. So if you can get at least the 500 monthly payment, then that's an extra $500 that you can allocate in your savings, right? Whether you do 401k, whether you do cryptocurrencies, right? Now, if you combine that from an extra $500 from your side hustle, then that's $1,000 you can work with. And the more you increase your side hustle to a sustainable business, then it just works out very well. So thank you for sharing that, because absolutely. Now you were working full time at Walmart, and you had that side hustle while you were working on clearing off that debt. And what were you doing also to kind of like stay? Were you learning more about other types of investing while you were doing that?
Yes, so after I leave the course, after I get done with that, then I start buying books. I read a lot of Dave Ramsey book, and then I buy Rich Dad Poor Dad. I came across that book, then I read that book, and that's what get me into real estate. I started listening to Bigger Pocket podcasts as well. I
Mm,
don't know if you know Bigger Pockets. It's a real estate podcast, so I started listening to them every day, and I was, following Grant Cardone and all the big gurus that deal with, it was just housing. So I started looking to real estate. So back in 2000 and further down the road, like 2015, I think, I met my husband.
mm.
I met my
A-
husband in 2000.
And were your husband also doing the same work as like working in his personal finance as well? Now, do you do it as a couple, or is it mostly you? Like how did that happen? Like for
Okay, yeah. So when I met my husband was he was in his third year of university, so he was here as a college student. He's from my country as well,
nice.
so he was working at Walmart as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I met him here, and I was looking to buy a house at the time because I was looking to buy my first house. So the same year I met him, I bought a house. I bought a FHA loan, 3.5% down, and I bought a primary resident. It was a townhouse at the
Mm,
time. So I bought that. It was just me, and that's it. So when we bought the house, I started renting out a room in the house to help me pay the mortgage.
mm. So it wasn't. So basically, it's like it's not really a house. It's a business. It's an income.
It
It's
is.
because a house, it's kind of like you stay in it, you pay the mortgage 20, 30 years down the line, right? Me, I call it a liability. If it's not putting money in your pocket, it's a liability. But you actually you were renting it from day one, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh. So I
Awesome.
turned the living room inside our house because the living room was big. It's so like 1,500 square foot. So like we turned the living room into a bedroom. So we,
Wow.
do it though, So yeah, turn it in a bedroom. We rent out the room, and that was helping us pay most of our mortgage because at the time I think my mortgage was about 800 or so. So we
Oh, nice.
start renting it out. So, and then my husband, he's not from here, so he went back to Jamaica because he was here as a J1 student. He was
Mm-hmm.
in his third year of university. So when I met my husband, he when I met him, I tell him, I said, let's, just stay here and don't go back home. And he explained to me, and he said, I have to go back home and tell my parents that I met, the woman of my dream. I can't just stay, because they sent me to school from I was a baby, and now I'm in third year college. They're depending on me. I can't stay. So he said, can you wait on me for 2 years until I finish college? I said, no, I can't wait. I'm older. I can't wait. Life goes on. I just can't wait. So he went back home, and, then he called me a couple months after, and he said, I'm ready to take on life with you. I'm gonna,
Right.
forget about
Hey,
college. I'm coming back.
hey, if you see someone who's determined, right? If you see someone who's because hey, I'm sure the women around his age were not focused like that, right? We're not drivers like that. So if you could get that done,
Yeah,
you can achieve. That's how you build an empire. Both
so
people
true.
working towards the same
So
goal, and that's how it is. Very quickly, let me go through the chat very
true.
quickly. Blind guy, his wife, their life, finances are a good deep dive to take. Absolutely. A macro farmer. I haven't seen you before, but thank you for being here. Nice to meet you. And yeah, Getty's radio show. Salute. Yes, Lashes was determined. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, she was. She was. And you have to be if you want to achieve your goals. You have to be almost obsessed with this goal if you want to make it a reality, because it's not that all the time it's so simple in the sense that all you got to do is save, and then you take that money, you invest it. It's simple, right? It's not like you had to take the root square of like a formula that's going to drive you to space, right? It's not that complex. But although it's simple, it doesn't mean it's easy, right? There is many things around in life that will happen that will try to direct you away from this goal. Now, it's your determination that's going to keep you straight on this road, right? And
Yeah,
you need determination because there is many things that could happen along the way that's going to seduce you off that road, that's going to give you that apple when you're not supposed to bite it, right? And then so
true.
you gotta stay determined, you gotta stay true to your goals, true to your morals, and true to everything you believe in to make this goal a reality. But thank you for your comment. And let me see if we have more comments. How are you doing, Sam Sia? Nice to see you here. We had a great panel this morning on the Intentional Millionaire channel. So let's see. I'm going to the chat very quick, guys. First timer here, absolutely. Yes, nice to see you here, man. That's why we do this stream, is to interact with you guys, get to know you guys, answer your questions, and together we can be on a journey of financial independence and learn from people along the way. And that's why we invited Lashes here so that she can share a story on how she was able to retire and create enough income from her portfolios so that she could retire her jobs at Walmart, right? So it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep and multiply. And she was able to do that by following the James Ramsey steps. Whichever methods you use, as long as you find something, that's what you do. All right, so I understand what you were saying is going back to the steps you've taken, right? So you had the house, you were renting the house, and then that helped you pay the mortgage. Did you finish paying the mortgage, or is it still going on? Like,
It's still going on.
it's still going on, but this is an entirely income. Like, you're not living in this house. You're just entirely.
And I only
And
owe like I think 100,000 on there, and it valued way over 300.
wow, oh,
Mhm.
that's like already like.
Yeah.
So how long was that? 5 years ago? 2 years ago? Like,
Yeah, that was at back in 2015, 2016 when we bought that house.
okay,
When I bought
okay,
that, yeah.
yeah, 6 years ago, and
That house.
basically it's not going to take a long time to finish paying that, which is good. Most people, man, they have long mortgages and they're trying to kind of like spend as long as possible to finish paying it. So shout out to you for that. And also, what I wanted to ask you is how long it took you to go get your next asset, right? So you got the house, it's a property, it's a income, it's generating income every year, right? How long ago did it took you to get your next property?
So the thing is, that was my primary residence. So after I got married, we got married in 2016. My husband and I, we both were working at Walmart because after he came here, I went and get my GED. Both of us went to school. We were going to school and working at Walmart and going to school at night and have
Mm,
kids, and we were doing that. And in 2018, we start buying real estate, like because that was our primary house where we live, and we used to rent out our room. So in 2018, seriously, we bought our first investment property. We
mm,
bought our first property. I ended up moving my mom here from Jamaica over the years in 2016. So I tell the bank, you can get a secondary mortgage. At the time, my mom was going to live there in that house, the first
mhm.
house that me and my husband bought. So we bought it. My mom lived there for a little, then she moved out. Then call the bank and I let them know. My mom move out. Can I rent it out? Excuse me. The bank
E-
said it's your house. You do whatever you want with it.
exactly. As long as you keep paying their cut, they're
Uh-huh.
good with you. So,
So I
but
start renting it out. So
love it, love it.
after I start renting it out, we save up another down payment for because we do house hacking,
Mm.
not the traditional way. It's where we rent by the room. So we save up to buy another house. So
So when you do that, you pay by the room. Like, do you rent it to like students, like
workers, mostly workers, normal workers, people that work Walmart, work restaurants, stuff like that. Mostly foreigners. Yeah.
okay, and
hmm
is it short term?
They normally there for 6 months a year.
O-
So it's
Okay, okay.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's cool because hey, now we could you can rent it higher per room, right?
yes,
And then you definitely now you ensure you have cash flow on that property, which is still enough to cover all your expenses and and live in it, right?
yeah, uh-huh.
That's beautiful. So now that you did that into you started buying your first property in
2018.
2018. That's 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So remember, I was saying how to do it in 10 years or less. You basically did it in 4 years. So what I was asking is now, how long did you take you? Did you buy one property every year? Is that what you did, or
Yeah, so in 2019 we bought an investment property where we put 20% down, because that one that we bought in 2018 we put 10% down, because
okay?
yeah. So the other one we put 20% down. We bought that one as an investment property. We put it in house hacking as well, because
Mm,
we know our market, we know what's working here, so
mm-hmm.
we do it house hacking, rent out by the rooms and share rooms. So we bought
Awesome.
another one in 2019. Then a little after that, yeah, I tell the bank, we bought another one.
Yeah,
So two
another
right here.
one.
Yeah, in 2019. So then in 2020, yeah, I tell the bank, my family grew, I want a big house. So they said, what you have to do, you have to rent out your primary residence. We have to see a lease for that house. And you can get a 5% down on another house. So that's what I
Okay.
did. So I rent that house out, get a lease, send them the paper. They give me another house for 5% down. And we
D-
did that.
So what I'm hearing is basically it's the bank that's giving you those. It's not like you went to another mortgage broker or anything. It's
Same
the
one,
bank.
the same back. I have 4 or 5 mortgage with one company. Penny
Wow.
Mac. Yeah.
But they never give you any issues with the income from your job or something. They never
Um,
give you.
what was that?
Did they never give you any issues from your job because saying that have they ever said that hey, maybe your income from your job is too low that we're not going to give you another mortgage on top of the first one you have, like they never brought
No,
that
the
up.
debt, no, the debt to income ratio, no, because I didn't have, we don't have no credit card at the time or nothing. We don't have no car payment, so it
Okay.
was just our house that was, but all our house we put them in rental, so those are income. All the
Mm,
properties are income, so we show those. This is what we're getting on rent. So
mm-hmm.
the thing is, a lot of people with real estate, they do a lot of write off, because when you do a write off, but we don't take write off because we want to be bankable. So we file our tax, tell the government how much we're making. We don't try to hide nothing. A lot of time you can write off you can write off this, you can write off. So we don't take write off because we
Oh
want to
yeah.
be bankable. I want to
All right.
say to the bank, okay, this is what we're making. We're making money. So we need you to lend us this money. So the bank keep lending us because they see that,
Mm.
okay, yeah. So
And
that
then basically, so your strategy is more like use the bank's money to buy property, get the property to pay themselves, and then leave off the cash flow. So
exactly.
you make sure you leave off the cash flow. And for those who don't know, it's cash flow is hey, when you pay all of your expenses at the end of the month, do you still have some money left? Right? If your mortgage is $1,000 and then your rent is bringing, let's say, 1,300 for the month, then basically you have $300 in cash flow. So if you have enough of this cash flow, then that can probably pay up all your living expenses as well, on top of the real estate you already own, which is covered as part of your expenses. So again, that's good call. So different strategy. Me, I'm more the type of guy who's probably going to use real estate to to keep most of that money. But from your perspective, your real estate, I guess it's the primary way of building your wealth, and it's more in your advantage to get the bank to give you that money so that liquidity is there from the bank, and then you live off the cash flow.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I do. And the way I fund them, I borrow against my 401k. So my
Oh
401k that I was investing in all these years that I didn't know what it was.
yeah,
I knew I was
2006, since 2006.
yeah, I was putting money in there, didn't know what it was. And I heard you only can touch it when you get to 59 and a half. So I'm like, okay. But then I read more books, study more podcasts, do what I gotta do, and learn that you can actually borrow against your 401k where you don't pay tax because you borrow it and you're paying it back. So you don't pay no capital, no taxes.
I haven't heard that one before. Because I know in Canada here we have this, but they only allow you to do it for your first property. It has to be your first. If you buy a property already and then you haven't done it, then they don't care about it. But in the States, so what? You can keep doing it over and over. Is
Yes,
that
you
what you
can
mean?
get a personal, you can have two loan out of once because you can get a personal loan. So you can call them, Merrill Lynch, I need a personal loan of $20,000. They give you that personal loan. And then a residential one, you can have that residential one as well. But as
Mm,
soon as you pay off any one of these, you can get another one. See what I'm
wow.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what you do is, do you use the cash flow money then to pay off that initial money do you use that? Okay, first you get the loan. Do you use that for cash payment or the down payment for the
For
property?
the down payment, because normally your down payment would be like, so one of the house, the down payment is like $20,000.
Yeah.
So we'll use cash and then we'll use a part of her 401k if we can't come up with all that. So the other one, we the 20%, it was $40,000 or something like that at closing, 45,000 after closing. So we
Hmm.
borrowed 21,000 from the 401k and make up the other half with cash and from our stocks and stuff like that. So it's done, and then
So
we
without even selling your stocks, you just borrow against it.
just borrow against it. Right now, we're building a new. I don't know if you see a new building on my story, that on my YouTube or whatever. I'm building a new build, and
Yeah.
we have it on a contract a year ago. It's a year, and it's still not done. We're closing on it anytime now. But in 2020, there was a CARES Act. I don't know if you know about the CARES Act. It came in
No.
2019, where you can pull out up to 50,000 from your 401k, totally
Fifty
legal.
thousand.
Yeah, fifty
You
thousand.
you
If
can
you're
pull that
infected,
out and then you have to put it back in for with
no,
a
no.
certain amount.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Because
forever.
yes, if you're affected by the big C, so
Oh.
it was the
Oh,
CARES
okay,
Act.
okay. So you gotta use that to your advantage too if you can, right?
Yes, and I
Oh,
heard him talking about it, so I called Mary Lynch. I'm like, okay, and he said, yeah. When the guy said on the phone, he said, yeah, you can get up to 50,000. I'm like, okay, I want $50,000, so I take $50,000 out of 401k, and
yeah.
I said, okay. So he said you have to pay 20% or whatever. I said, take it out. So he sent me $40,000, and I rolled that into an investment property. So that's
Mm.
what we do. So we keep just rinse and repeat the same thing. So yeah, it's
And basically, next thing you know, within 4 years, you just built yourself
yeah.
at least $1 million real estate empire at this
Over
point.
at
Like all you
1.5.
need is at least two or three different properties, and you're probably going to get to the million in terms of at least in control, like not paper, but you control it, right?
Yeah,
But man,
exactly.
that's the way to go. But that's you're speaking games here, dropping
Yeah.
gems and games
And
and
that's
lots
what
of.
I always tell people. You have to leverage a bank because the bank will send you tons of credit card where you get credit card up to $100,000. So some people have, I heard you can get credit card without no
Like no money in the bank.
yeah, and you can get it with no limit. Somebody
What?
tell you about that. So you can get a whatever credit card. Like, you can just spend. And if
Unlimited.
yeah, unlimited. Yes. I'm like,
Sheesh.
why would the bank do that?
Oh, I would abuse this. Man,
Exactly. And that's
unlimited crypto. Woo.
and that's what I always tell people. You got to leverage a bank. The bank will send you credit card. They'll give a 20 or 18-year-old a car loan. You know, a car for $80,000, $50,000. Get a house before you
Mm.
get a car, because those are liability. So leverage a bank with real estate. The bank gonna put 96.5% down. You only have to come up with 3.5%. That's it. And it's the bank money. So the bank is taking the risk.
and and again, I know for those who haven't done it yet, you might feel overwhelmed with this, but all you got to understand is that's only possible if you started with the right step from the beginning. Remember what she said that she did. She was paying off that credit card and it took her 2 years to do it, but once she finished doing it, it became a lot easier for her to save that money. Now in 4 years, so how many properties you have right now? Four different properties.
No, five at the moment. We're closing on the sixth one right now.
Sheesh. So in four
A
years,
new one.
closing on six properties. So you've seen the rate of growth. You might believe, you might say 3 years, where's the growth, right? I'm just paying off debt. But that's not true, because all that debt is now, that's what the bank is looking at and say, hey, this person has zero debt. This person, although the income coming from their job, the full-time job, is not necessarily high, but because of the debts are low, at the end of the day, she ends up keeping more money than your average person, right? The person living to paycheck to paycheck. And on top of that, if you can transform a house, you make it into a income property. From the bank's perspective, it's not your mortgage anymore. So they actually remove that mortgage off the calculation for you, for a risk. They're like, oh, okay, that property is going to continue to rent. Therefore, if you had $1,000 per month for mortgage, then they remove that off your equation and see how much money you still have left. So it's still that same income that you're getting. So although it may be income from from McDonald's, or let's say from Walmart, it's still high in the sense of the bank, because there is zero liabilities, and even the real estate itself is covered by the renters. So because of that, they're comfortable with giving you more and more money, especially if they see that you know what you're doing. So they're more likely. Actually, that's how the bank makes money. They want to lend it to people, but they need to understand that you can handle it, right? So that wouldn't be possible if she didn't do the first step of saving and get rid of the debt, and have a plan on how she wants to build a real estate empire, right? So it took dedication, it took discipline, and she was able to do it. But great. Shout out to Peter Investor for mentioning that. Great story from the guest. Very quickly, let me go. Exactly, micro farmer. Exactly. Use other people's money to make money. Absolutely. Just like the bank does. Just like the bank does. Right. Let me go to this very quick. Make no sense. This will you save your money on the 401k for yourself, but you have to pay it back. Well, again, we the states have different rules, but that's the thing, right? That's why it's good to know about different strategies, right? If we're staying only in Canada, then we're limiting ourselves with what Canada can do. But because for us, for us here, the what our version of the 401k, we can only pull it out once, and we have 15 years to pay it out. But hey, if now that I know about this, I'm not going to buy my first home here. I'm going to buy it somewhere else where
Okay.
I have zero tax. Like that's the
And
way I
here
see.
they ask you when you want to pay it back. They said when you want to pay it back. The first one I tell him 10 years. Second one I said 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. They ask you when you want to pay it back. You can send a check in full and pay it back off and get another loan.
Mm, absolutely. Very quickly, I gotta say, I appreciate it, bro. You're making major out there, out here. Well, we're not going anywhere but up. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And let me see. How are you doing, Getty? How are you doing? Tasha Oshi grows and blind guy and Snuggles. How are you doing, Snuggles? Always with those googly eyes. Now, Lily been on her grind. Yes, she's been on her grind. Then closing on a property. It seems like every time I talk to her, she has a new property in the background, right? And what can you tell us a little bit about the effect of building? So you're from the first property to the second versus from your fourth to sixth. Like, is it do you notice that it became a lot faster, a lot easier
Yeah.
to acquire those properties?
Yes, it became easier after the second one because with the second one, we were kind of worried like, okay, a second mortgage, and and it's mostly my husband would say, oh, and I'm like, come, let's go. So it becomes easier the more you get, and the thing is the tenant pay all your expense. So
Mm,
it encourages you when you see the cash flow that's coming in. It makes you want to
mm,
buy more. And then the thing is, people are always looking for a place to rent, because even with the big C or whatever going on right now, everybody moving to Florida. I live in Florida. Everybody
that
coming
is
down here. I
true.
have tons of people lining up asking me, call me every day. You you
Do
have
you
any
have a
house to
property?
rent? I have over 10 people calling me, asking me about property. Right now I have a property that's empty, I'm cleaning it. It's empty since the first of the month, but I don't want to rent it. I'm
Where
just sitting on it.
Where in Florida? Just out of curiosity, where in Florida do you live? Is it like a Florida, or like a Fort Lauderdale and up there? Like, where
No,
would you
I
say?
want Destin Beach. I'm on the beach. Destin.
Destin Beach.
Testing.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm very curious. Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are me, even me. I'm looking into Florida right now. I'm like hot weather. What you guys call winter to us, it's like if summer, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't know. Anything that I can do to get an edge, to avoid doing things like this, cash flow, hunter. Avoid doing things like this. I'll take a lead. And very quickly, guys, I secure a date with I'm inviting the guest for next week. It's a guest that's going to talk about how you can save, how you can have 0% tax legally, 0% tax legally if you're living in Canada or United States. I secured it with this guest. This is a guest who lives in Dubai, so the timing is going to be off a little bit. I really want to do it live so that you guys can ask your question live, especially you. But if you can't, then maybe you'll watch the replay the next day. But I'll try to schedule that, and it might be late, guys. It might be around 11 p.m. But hey, if you can make it, great. If you cannot, then jump in on the stream or to watch the replay. But if you can, then you can definitely ask your questions, and the guests will be able to answer it live. So very quickly, I wanted to mention that before we dive deeper on the topic. So you did notice that it became a lot easier to acquire properties. Were you leveraging your investments in any way, whether you take out the equity that the renters were putting it back in, or like what? How did you like if you want to fund your fifth property, right? Is
Mhm.
it on that 3.5% or 5% that you put down? Is it entirely from the income from the side also in job, or is it a little bit of that and the equity from previous properties? Or like what would you say, like where do you come up with all that money to
All that
buy
cash
this?
is the cash flow, and we have stock investment as well. So I sell my stock in my fourth property. I sell some stock, and the third, fourth, fifth. That the what you call it, the CARES Act. I
Mm-hmm.
did take out that money to roll it in a property, but we always have investment in my stock because we do stock as well, individual stock. So the stock money that I make in the stock, I usually roll that into um, property, real estate. So
All right, all right, all right. So I see that question very quickly. I wanted to bring that up right away, and I'm going to keep this stream fairly quick, but we're almost done anyway. But I wanted to jump this. Are you the property manager for your tenant, or do you hire a property manager? And shout out to you, the great preloader, sorry, the great freeloader. But a shout out to you, and yes, great question.
I
What?
manage, we manage all our property. One of them, I inherit a property manager in one of the middle one. And I had that property and I'm property manager for 2 years. But I'm in the street. So the people that rent the property, they were subletting it out. Yeah. So the property has a property manager because when I buy it, it already have tenant in there and it
Mhm.
already have a property manager. So we let it slide. But then, I work at Walmart. I'm in the street, so I heard that they have people in there, people that was living in there. I was working with them that live in the property. So this lady, she rented, and she rented out by rooms. So she was doing the exact same thing that I was doing, but the
Hmm.
property was my property. But she rented from the property manager, and she rent out room to other people.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, I take it from the property manager. I said I could, the property manager don't even know what's going on because the property manager don't go to your. They just
You
need
don't
that
have time.
10%. They just need that 10%. So what I did, I didn't sign back the lease. I just do it the same way I do all my property. So
And then you like isn't you still young, right? And then you like doing things on your own anyway. You like to be involved in things, especially if you're not going to work anymore to your job. May as well taking care of your own investment, right? Manage your own investment.
exactly, yeah,
And the benefit of also is it reduces your expenses, and it can also which increase your cash flow, right? So if
yes,
you don't have to pay the property manager, you have more money in your pockets. But
exactly.
eventually if you're increasing those properties, Lashes, you're probably going to have you're going to need a team or something. Or I don't think if you increase your property to 10 different real estate at some point, you're
Yeah.
going to have to do something about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to. Which my kids, they help me with it too, because I have two older kids. I have one 23, one 19, so they help me with the property as well. So
Awesome.
it's not just me and my husband. They help as well.
Because it's their wealth too, right?
Exactly,
It's their
exactly.
wealth.
Because we ain't
It's
living
their
forever, and
it is their
that's
in their benefit to take care of
exactly.
their wealth, and it's just a great way to teach them also how it works and get them involved in your investments as well.
Yes, and I normally take them to closing when they're little. We be taking them to closing. We'll be closing document with them, so
Awesome.
just so they get a feel of it, they know what it's like. So
Awesome, awesome. Hey, that's great. That's great.
yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. I had some other questions for you that will go very quick. Now, what is your favorite strategy when it comes to real estate? Now, I guess I'm hearing it already, but I wanted to know if you wanted to elaborate more on that. Are you doing buy, rent, and hold? Like, what do you do? What would you say is your favorite strategy when it comes to real estate, and why did you choose that strategy over another?
hmm Okay, so my favorite strategy are it's kind of the Burr method. The Burr. I don't know if you heard about that.
I heard about it. Actually, I think I've read it from one of your comments, and I wanted to know if you wanted to elaborate more on that. So, what is the Burr comment, the Burr strategy?
It's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat.
Refinance.
But I
R-
haven't refinanced nothing. I
Okay.
refinanced one of my property last year, but not cash out.
Okay.
But with the bird, they do the cash out refinance. They take out, you pull back out all your money that you put in. So if you put on 40,000 in one property, you refinance it, take out your cash,
Mm.
and just yep. But we haven't do no cash out refinance yet.
All right, all right. I'm going to. So that's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Buy, rent, rehab, refinance, repeat. I
Repeat.
didn't know the refinance part of it. I
Yeah.
like the buy, rent, re. I guess I would say buy, rehab,
Uh,
rent, right? So
yeah.
does that mean if there is rehab that needs to be done, you can actually get it at a cheaper price, right?
Yes. Because
Now, do you? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was saying, if there's work need to be done on the house, you get it at a cheaper rate, a cheaper price.
Mm,
Because you're not gonna look for the fancy house that everything fixed up. You're gonna look for something that just cosmetic damage. Because as long
exactly.
as the inspection passed and there's no structural damage,
Yeah.
you good.
So,
Because you
so
want equity in there.
do you have like a team or something like like a company or a construction company that you work with that you always contact whenever you buy a property, you send them to rehab the property? Like, how do you manage that?
Me
Do
and
you
my
do it
husband, we do.
yourself or
Yeah, we do it ourselves because we buy
really?
it. For instance, we bought this house. It was going for $320,000. It was listed for 320, and we asked, we get it for 305. But in the neighborhood, those houses was going for like 370, 400,000. So it was like a really nice neighborhood with the worst house in there. So the
Mm,
house was sitting on the market for like almost a year. I was wondering why but when you walk in the house, the floor look a mess, everything look, the paint ugly. But those are cosmetic damage. It's just cosmetics as long as it's not structural damage. And we came look at the house. We love the yard, everything. I'm like, we get in it, because as long as there's nothing. When we do the inspection, it came back, nothing
yeah.
was wrong with it. It was just like the sprinkler. Some of them was damaged. We're like, okay, that's it. We didn't counter. The owner said they'll give us for 305. It was listed for 320. I didn't ask for nothing. I'm like, okay, 305. Okay, we'll give her 305. That's what it is. Because I already see the beauty in this house. I
Mm.
see past the ugliness. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm.
Yeah.
And shout out to you for doing that, because a lot of people will miss up on things like that, right? Especially if they don't have the skills to do it themselves, then they're like, no, I don't want to be involved in all that. I don't want to have to pay all this extra money. But if you do it yourself, you save a lot of that. I can tell you, me and my wife, we were able, like in my house, we destroyed our own bathroom and we redid it. And
Yes.
man, we saved, like, I think it took us 4 hours
Mhm.
to destroy the bathroom, and that we saved $4,000 just from that,
So
from that alone. And this is literally took an hour and then just like
beat it down.
smashing the walls. And the $4,000. I'm like, are you serious? Are you? I could literally start a demolition business, just being the demolition man, smashing walls left and right, and get paid $4,000 for it, man. So, so shout out to Friendsgiving. Thank you for coming here. How are you doing, Cheryl? Again, sorry if I'm butchering your name. One day I want you to call in so you can help me with the pronunciation. Sorry, I have a French accent, so I got a Cheryl or Cheryl, whichever one it is. I'm happy to get there. But nice to see you here. Nice to see you here. Let me see, James Tony. So buy the ugliest house in the neighborhood. Yes, because now you can transform it into the best house, and it will cost you a fraction of what the
Mhm.
value will be, right? So
So,
for us, we spent less than $10,000 to redo the lighting, redo the bathrooms, both bathrooms, and now we can actually charge $80,000 more on a condo, right? $80,000 more on a condo, and then we still redid the kitchen. We redid the kitchen, we did the
uh-huh.
bathrooms, two bathrooms, and then we had like a chandelier light and $80,000 more already. On top of that, with the equity, so we
Yeah.
basically have $100,000 already. At now we're selling, we're putting it for sale, and I'm
Mhm.
actually had to go to the office early today because I had like five different visits on the condo getting ready to sell. So,
That's
uh,
awesome.
so
Good
yeah,
luck.
very quickly, I got to there was a question for you. My a micro farmer, Lashes, do you plan to buy lots and build from ground up one day? Interesting question.
Yes, we plan on buying land and old after this property because we actually we working on a new bill right now. It's almost done. It's condo house as well.
Mm,
So after this one, we me and my husband we decide we're gonna buy some land and just
mm-hmm,
sit on it, and later on when the kids grow up or whatever they can build on it, or just let it just go up in value. Because where we live, everything is going sky high. All the lines are
mm.
going up. So we're like, okay, let's grab a piece of land, sit on
Right
it,
now,
and yeah, we can, whenever when the kids grow up or something.
yeah,
But we definitely planning on buying land. Building from the ground up, I'm not really sure because I like cash flow. So I like buy it turnkey where it's ready, good to go, and get people in. But we
yeah.
definitely gonna buy land and sit on it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have different strategies. Me, I'm actually the land type. I actually bought a land. I bought a land at the Cayman Islands, and then also what I do, I love cash flow too. It's just that I get my cash flow on stocks and cryptos. Right now, 100% crypto, but now what I do is I take my profit and then I put it on lands that I plan on buying and create that cash flow properties as well.
Mhm.
Whether it's a home that I can live in and rent it 6 months of the year, like
Mhm.
Airbnb style, or just create an entirely commercial building. But yeah, I'm the land building type as well. Actually, just
Oh,
to give you an
awesome.
idea, just to
That's
give you an
good.
idea, my project is I want to create this real estate, like international real estate in the
Uh-huh.
Caribbean, where I buy the land and I create a commercial building,
Mhm.
and I rent every single property in that commercial building, and
Mhm.
half of it is my own franchise, my own businesses, and
That's great.
bro, I want to do it like a burger joint, a barber
Yeah.
shop, a gym, a bar, like an office. So I go there, I can stay there, or groceries. Like
Uh-huh.
I just stay there on my own property, and everything I spend my money on goes back to me. Like,
That's a
you know,
great idea.
yeah, that's a dream I have, man. I want to at least do it once before I
That's
die,
good.
man.
That's good.
Yeah, but hey, different strategies, right?
Yeah, so cool.
At the end of the day, all roads to wealth leads to real estate.
It does. It does.
Absolutely. Shout
There's
out to you.
really no more land.
Shout out to you, Cheryl. Demolition man. Yes, man. Yo, 4 hours, $4,000, just smashing walls. Like really?
I
Yeah,
know.
man, ridiculous, ridiculous. Shout out to you, Friendsgiving, and let me see, micro farmer, great cause. That's what I do. Brought 4 lots in our Kansas this year.
That's
How
good.
is the land there? Like, is it cheap? Is there? Do they have farmlands there too? I'm very curious. Let me know, micro farmer. But I'm also very into farming. I think that's also those cash flow properties. You can rent it to a farmer, and then they grow things to it, make money from it. You get a cut from that too if you negotiate that in a deal. So yeah, never know. JC is building a whole community. Thank you very much. But it's with your help, Friendsgiving. It's with your help. All these comments, everyone coming here, they're motivating me to do more work like that. And thank you very much for being the leader. You right now, I have a leaderboard for Super Chat, and you are at the leading position. So thank you very much for your help as well. And let me see, on a golf one, a golf community where the price went up crazy. Can you imagine buying a land and then transforming that into a golf course? Yo, that would be a serious business, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, imagine you buy this land that looks like a not a forest, but just like random woods, and you clean all that, you put some nice grass, right? Nice hole there with sand, and then boom, it's a golf course, and then you start renting it. Oh man, these are business ideas.
Yes. And then
Man,
with the pandemic, everything went up because when we buying house, we didn't know everything was gonna triple in price. All the
yeah,
houses that we pay 154 now they're like 400, 450,
sheesh.
350, and we only pay 150 for them.
And then
That
all your properties are going up at the same time, which increase your net worth. And now you basically have a net worth of over a million
over a
because
million
you're
in rental
controlling
property.
these properties.
And the bank calling me every day. Every 2 days, the bank calling me because we're
Wow.
closing on a new bill and they want to lend us the money. I'm like, the bank, they call me and I don't even answer them. They leave,
Wow. Wow.
every day. So the bank want to lend you the money.
Wow, wow.
I
Well,
like,
you are a true inspiration. You, like you said, you are living the American dream because now imagine this: most people, the bank are chasing them so for their bills, right? They're like, "Hey, where is that car payment? Where is that rent?" Now you're in a situation where you are the bank is chasing you. You have to shut it down. You're turning off your phone. Yeah, you have a special ringtone for the now when you pick up the phone, how do they say your name? Like, they're like, hi Lashes, like,
it's small. They call me by my last name.
okay, okay. They really treat you like royalty. You feel like royalty, eh?
I do.
Man, that's inspiration right there. Now let me ask you this. I had a question because you alluded to that earlier, and you were talking about, some people were using real estate as a write-off, kind of like to save on tax,
Yeah.
to keep off tax. Now, what are you doing in general to reduce your taxes? In general, what would you say you're doing
I
to
don't
do
worry
that?
about the taxes. Um,
Do you
I
file your
do nothing to
taxes?
reduce my taxes. I don't try to reduce my taxes because I'm in real estate.
Mm,
I don't really pay a lot in taxes the way everything's the tax once you have real estate, a lot of time you don't you don't pay a lot in taxes, but I don't
mm,
write off nothing. I just tell them how much I make on the house, and that's it. I don't have to pay back a lot of nothing. I don't do a lot of write off because the thing is, when when you take a lot of write off, you're not bankable. It's telling your bank you didn't make enough.
mm.
I need to acquire more property, so I put all my income up there. So it will say, okay, I'm making XYZ every year, so they'll lend me more money next year. I need
But
the bank to keep lending me money.
But I'm very happy I had this conversation with you because I never seen it that way until you mentioned it. Because me, honestly, my experience so far in real estate is, hey, they'll give you the money for one property, two property, maybe three, and then you're going to have to go with a mortgage broker or something outside of the bank because it will be a lot, because they understand where you want to go, and the banks is like, okay, there is too much risk being involved here. That's usually my experience in what I
But
hear. But
that's the thing. I don't. That's the thing. I don't go to like a traditional bank. Like I go to PennyMac. I don't know if you know PennyMac. They're
no, sorry,
mortgage
sorry,
company. Huh?
no, sorry. I mean, I
Yeah, I
heard the
don't go to
name.
the,
I don't
yeah.
know the difference.
I don't go to traditional bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or those bank.
Oh, okay,
They're a
okay.
mortgage bank. Yeah,
Oh, so
they're
you go to
lending.
mortgage bank.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, okay. So yeah, okay. So we're saying the same thing then.
yes.
Uh,
Yes, it
yeah.
is.
So yeah, the mortgage banking. Yeah, they'll want that's their job. Literally, that's the only thing they give money to. It's
Yes.
for mortgage. So if you have a good relationship with them, that's the way to go. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because the traditional bank, it seems that they have a certain level of risk they're willing to take. No
Mhm.
more than three. I've never seen anyone who was able to do more than three properties in
No,
a traditional bank.
so true. They want you have to have 6, 7, 8 months income to show you can afford all those. Yes. So yes, I go to PennyMac. They're a great company. I like them.
Again, let me give you a quick shout out to the sponsor of this stream. There is a 18 years real estate cycle. Absolutely. Again, thank you for your contribution earlier today. But man, I saw a comment. I want to dive deeper into that. Micro farmer, man, you got some interesting ideas, my man. I don't know if you're man or woman, but you got some interesting idea, micro farmer. But plans to buy an abandoned town in America, man. Whoo! Because hey, manufacturing towns, manufacturing are probably leaving the country, going to other like Mexico, Asia, right, India. So if you could buy something like that and you transform it into like a digital world, right, or data centers, you create like warehouse, and then you rent it to like people like Google, Facebook, to put like computers and drives, right, for the data farms. Man, that could be something very interesting, man. You we gotta talk. We gotta talk. I mean, join on the Discord. Join on the Discord. Discord is free. It's probably on the description. But yeah, we need people like that that thinks like this, because you never know, right? Great comment. Great comment. Shout out to you again, Friendsgiving. And let me see, depreciation is the write off. Depreciation. Yes, right. There is a way that you can get some sort of tax benefit from the depreciation in real estate. Is that I don't know if you like you I think I heard that before, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I think he's talking like if you're living it over a period of time, right?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
because it goes up in value because most of these property I bought them at 150. Now they're if I'm selling them 300,000, 400,000.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that there's that too. Yeah, if it
but a
goes
lot
up
of
in
time,
value, there's not really depreciation. But yeah, I gotta look into that too. But one thing, I'm more team do whatever that you can to save as much tax as possible. But let me ask you this: so, in your opinion, if you do that, it will affect your relationship with the mortgage broker?
yeah, because a lot of time, a lot of people take a lot of write off in real estate because it's totally legal where you can write off a lot of things. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you done any work on the house or if you buy anything for it, people will write stuff off like that.
Yeah.
If you put in a floor in, you write that off,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. You get back all that. But I always just keep it simple and just.
Okay. But have you ever talked to like maybe like I don't in my country here in
Yeah,
Canada, we have like this tax specialist. We call it the fiscalist. Usually they have a certain ways to they can, I don't know if you're maybe a CPA or
yeah.
someone
I have
who's,
a CPA.
yeah,
We do that.
specialized in
Mhm.
taxes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have an accountant office that do my taxes every year. They file my LLC and everything. Yeah, I just take my tax paper to them, tell them how much I make. That's it. They just
Yeah.
do their do.
But
They just file my tax, give it back to me. I
but
never
have
look
you
at
ever
them.
asked them specifically about how can you still manage to reduce the taxes and still keep that good relationship with the mortgage broker?
I never ask them. I just file my tax every year and apply for
Yeah.
more property and keep it moving. Maybe the next 10 year when I get to 20 property. I'm trying to get to 20, and
Yeah.
just
20 properties. Sheesh. It's We're going to have to divide the property manager task with the children, right? So five per children.
I know.
Oh man, that's good plans right there. Good plans.
Yeah. I was just
So
trying to build generational wealth, though. Trying to leave a legacy for my kids, grandkids, and great great grand. It's because it's not about me. I know I'm not going to live for the rest of my life. I'm just trying to buy as many properties as I can and
mm,
just leave them with a better life than I had. I had it rough in my
yeah.
childhood. So I'm like, okay, my kids never gonna have to, know this life. My grandkids never, I'm trying to help the next generation,
Mm,
save that generation from poverty. My grandkids, my great grandkids, and that's who I'm doing it for. And I'm teaching my kids as well. Everything because I'm thinking way ahead. I said that, if I should pass away tomorrow, I make sure I get life insurance. I make sure I have will in place. I'm gonna change my will to a trust because
yeah.
I did some studying on the trust and find out it's better. So we're
Oh,
gonna
me too.
go.
I'm looking into that too. I'm looking even Rabbi Trust, man.
So you don't touch nothing until you're 40. Your brain not developed yet.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
And this is
it's gonna
exactly
be.
what the wealthy people like. I'm talking about old money. This is exactly what they do to preserve their wealth to the for the next generation. Because when someone is young, like I remember when I was 18, if I had a lot of money, I would probably be dead right now because I was too crazy, right? And it was a good thing that I didn't have money because I would probably buy the fastest car and then drive fast on the street, and who knows, right? So you want to make sure you control how you have a drip system. You
Yeah,
slowly dripping that, and as the maturity
so
is
true.
evolving. Me, I love to pair that with a task, right?
Mhm,
If you could increase your own wealth to, let's say, 100,000, you get
mhm.
an extra a percentage of that wealth. And then if you can
Yep.
increase it to 1 million, then you get another percentage, right? Just to encourage them to work towards that goal.
And
And
that's
that,
why I changed my mind about the will and everything and said, okay, instead of, because I have a will, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a trust. I have a 23-year-old son and he buy off fast car. He buy a charger like every second he have a different charger. So I'm like, okay, I see
hey,
where
I
your
can't
money
blame him.
gonna
I was
go.
just like him. I was just like him. I can't blame him, man.
So
But
I'm like, it's scary, because what if something happened to me tomorrow?
mm,
Whatever I leave for him, he's just gonna sell whatever and buy cars. So I'm like, okay, I
mm,
gotta do things different until they're developed. So,
yeah,
30, 40, yeah. So
yeah. If you give them all this without them working for it, they don't really appreciate the work that it took to get there. But if you have some sort of incentive that they know that they will be rewarded for their work, then yeah, there'll be more. And then you can sell it to them. Hey, if you get to that point, think of all the cars you will be able to buy, and that's how you get them, man. That's how you get them.
exactly.
But hey, let me go to this comment very quickly. We're almost done. I have take one more question for you, and yeah, Peter Investor, and this is what Amazon, I guess, did buy abandoned commercial buildings. Absolutely, yeah. And then they're turning that into huge warehouses, and you'll probably have automation at some point to do shipping automatically, right? So they're buying assets from their perspective. Real estate can be passed down in inheritance, absolutely. Let me see. Was it 10 or 10:30? Not sure what you're asking me, Wally, or maybe you're talking to someone else. But let's see. Hey, great comment right here. Man, I have a link to the Discord. The Discord is free, so general chat is free there. Join me on Discord and say hi, man. These are the type of people we need to have and grow the community, as Friendsgiving is saying, because you have some big vision, my man. You have some big vision, and I have some big vision too. So you never know what may happen in the future. So hey, say hi on Discord. We'll take it from there. But let me ask you my last question for tonight, Lashes, is so we hear your story. You came in. Your dream was to come in the United States, but once you came in the United States, you started working at Walmart, and then hey, next thing you know, with life happened, you started increasing your credit card debt, which is kind of one of the worst debt to have because it's a high payment per month, and then if at some point, if it's high enough, you're putting that payment, you're not even paying the principal down, you're just paying the interest rate, right?
Interest. Uh-huh.
And then but then thank God that you needed a direction change, and church, you were able to get access to financial education from church, which led you to the Dave Ramsey steps on how to build your wealth, clear off your debt. Took you 3 years of discipline and determination to clear that wealth, but only 4 years to start from scratch into building over $1 million real estate portfolio. So shout out to you right there, because many people wouldn't even do the work or even looking for the information, let alone have the discipline, and on top of that, achieving it and stay consistent. So great shout out to, that is one of the reason why I wanted to invite you on my panel to share this, because this is absolutely need, people need to hear that, because if you can do it with 3 kids and then have another, you have 5 kids now, you're, when you started, you're a single mom working in Walmart, and you're still able to do it, no one else should have any excuse.
None.
No, no. Now I have this. I have this conversation. I was actually talking to someone earlier that was an engineer who had 5 kids, and was saying that, oh, yeah, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have many people who depends on me. I don't have the money to start investing. Now I can say, if Lashus was able to do it, you can do it too. Because if you are an engineer, you're making way more money than she did at working for Walmart, right? Knowing the pressure that, hey, automation is going to replace you at some point, because you see Walmart making those computers that makes it easy for people to cash out, and you no longer need your job anymore. Like, you see that being implemented firsthand.
Yes. And
So
they have the
shout out to
machine
you.
that unload the truck as well.
Mm,
I
I
used
didn't
to work
even know
at
that.
that shift. Yep.
I didn't
Machine
even know that.
unload that truck.
Shout out to you, the great preloader. I'm sorry if I miss, I'm getting the name wrong, but that's basically what I think it is. Preloader, the great preloader, $5 super chat. My mortgage cost me half of my monthly income. Beside get a better job. What would you do if you were in my position? Any suggestion? So very quickly, I will answer that. What I would do, and again, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but if it was me, half of my income goes to my mortgage. You would not want to hear what I have to say, but I will be brutally honest, because I am that way. Is get rid of it, in the sense that go move into a place. That's what I would do. I'm extreme that way. I would go move into a place where I'm only paying maybe 25-30% of my income. And I love the idea of renting a room and having roommates. Love it. Even if you're in your 30s, whatever it takes to reduce your expenses. The way I see it is, when you have your monthly expenses, 25% at a bare minimum, 25% of that needs to go to paying yourself. How do you pay yourself? You pay yourself by putting 25% of your monthly income back to your saving/investing portfolio. That's what I would do. So if my mortgage stops me from doing that, sell it. That's what I would do. Going back, maybe you could make some profit from your mortgage if you sold it. Fine, perfect. Move back into a place where you can build up your reduce your expenses, you build up your portfolio, you build up your savings, and then later buy a property from the profit of your investment. You put that into your property. Now, what I would do is this is what I'm working on right now. I'm working in a way where my crypto portfolio, without selling the principal, pays basically the cash flow, the dividend income that I would get from my investment, that I want that to pay my mortgage. Until I get to that point, I'm not buying any property under my name. My wife has a different story. She can buy a property under her name. That's fine. But me, under my name, I'm not doing that until my crypto portfolio can pay and cover my entire mortgage. And then I have my assets buying my other assets. And then I'll do exactly what she's saying, rent it to other house hacking, rehab, and then you multiplying your portfolio that way. So that's what I would do. It may not be the easiest decision to make. But I would do whatever it takes to reduce my expenses, starting with the real estate, and then maybe we get a cheaper car, buy a car for $1,000, $2,000, crappy car. That's what I would do. I would do that for 2 years, but all that money, Lashes did it for 3 years, reducing her debt. But then that debt was able to, she was able to get more money from that. I would put all that money in and put it into a saving slash investing portfolio that I have the options to take it out whenever I need to. And then you just make the discipline to keep putting that. But you got to reduce your expenses. You got to increase, you got to move somewhere your expenses is low, and also do side hustle just like Lashes did. Find something that you want to do on your own, where, hey, me, for me it was sales. I had to increase my skills in sales, and that allowed me to get more income in my job because I knew how to sell. Then I learned how to manage projects. Now I got more income from my jobs, and I work less and make more money because I have more skills, right? So that's what I would do: reduce expenses, increase your skills, increase your income, put at least bare minimum 25% of that income to a saving portfolio. With that said, thank you very much for your super chat. I'm going to save it so that I can connect on it later. But thank you again very much for this. And shout out, wow, what's going on here? What's going on? Shout out to you, Getty. Great show. Shout out to our sister Lele. Her story will inspire many. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have my closing comment for her as well. But thank you very much, Getty Radio. She's an inspiration, and I really wanted to have her on the panel tonight. Thank you very much, Friendsgiving. My friends keeping who keeps giving away the super chats. Now you're definitely the sponsor of the streams. JC, this is another phenomenal show. Thank you for showing Lashes humble and inspirational journey. Lele, you are a beautiful example of building wealth and leaving a real legacy for your family. Absolutely, you are both wealth on you are both a wealth of knowledge. Thank you very much, Lashes. And you are a gems in our community, supporting content creators and motivating us to keep doing this work and bringing the message to as many people as possible. So thank you very much for your generosity and huge respect for my end. So, Lashes, I have this question for you. Looking back into everything you've done so far and now your plans for the future, I know you talk about generational wealth, but what are your future plans to engineer your wealth in the time busy? To me, you're young, so you have another you have another at least 40 years to go. You mentioned 20 properties. What are your other plans that you're thinking about for to engineer your wealth?
Okay, so me and my husband, we talk about this every day. Because when I met my husband, he was into real estate, but now he's the one that really sending me listing and like, babe, let's try and get, let's. So we were talking about it. We talk about it every day, and like, what we're gonna do to scale. So we decide what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna start as soon as we exhaust all our revenue of finance for of what you call it, to finance it. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna refinance, do cash out refinance. So we're
Mm-hmm.
doing the burst strategy, but we haven't refinanced and take
Mm.
pull our cash out.
So
So we have all
that's
the equity.
a lot of money sitting down, getting ready to reinvest.
Yes. So
Mm.
now we're about to pull equity as soon as we get to, where we can come up with no more 401k, nothing. So right now, what we're gonna do right now, we going to refinance our first property because we have like over 300,000 in it in equity. So we're about to refinance it and pull 100,000 out, roll it in two property, then refinance another property. So we're just gonna go one by one, just rinse and repeat. So
So
that's it.
wait a second. With the 200,000 you have in equity, you could literally go after like almost a 2 million. I mean, not 2 million, but at least $1 million property. And if that's a multi-unit right there,
That's what we're
that's
planning and doing. We're trying to get like a little complex, like a little, like 7 unit, 10 unit. So that's
yeah,
what we. We
yeah.
we we about to go big. So
Ah,
that's what we.
that's the next level. That's the next level. That these are the big games right here. Man, you're building a real estate empire. This is beautiful to see. Are all of these in Florida or
Yes,
like,
all of them in Destin, where we live. Yeah, all of them,
wow.
all of
Next
them.
thing you know, you're going to be the reference of if people wants to have anything they want to buy and like to rent. Basically, if they want rent, they're going to have to consult you to give them properties. Man, this
They
is
do now. My friend, if they're buying, they call me, and you know what we need to do. So I'm we're actually doing it here. We have a small community. We have a lot of island people here, and they really look up to me.
Mm,
Most of them look up to me, and they're doing it. They say, Carisha, we want to be like you, because a lot of them rent from me, and a lot of them, they say we want to be like you. We're going to be. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are young. You're 30s. You're 20.
eh,
You'll be millionaire when you get to 41, and that's what I tell my kids. You should be millionaire in the next 5 years, just with me just giving you the blueprint. So don't sit down and wait on this. And
mm.
yeah. So
Absolutely, Wally. Absolutely, man. Man, this is so inspirational. But you're right. Like, especially in your situation, because it forces people to think. If she can do it at like honestly, I mean, you mean I would literally do 3 months and Walmart and still working at Walmart and say that, hey, I have $1 million portfolio in real estate, just so that people have absolutely no excuse. I do a couple YouTube videos while I'm working at Walmart, and then once it's there on YouTube, I quit my job and never go back, and I just replace those content on YouTube, just to say, hey, I was able to do it while I was on Walmart, guys, because it forces people to think. If she can do it while having a Walmart job, anyone can. All it takes is the determination. You need to apply yourself and do it. And she has the drive. She wanted to change and live the American dream, and she has it. And thank you for sharing that. Now she's thinking of the next level of multi units. And now we're talking about this is like a whole entire empire that you're building right now. And I'm very excited to see it on your channel. So, again, I'm going to copy the link to her channel. Give her some love, guys, and maybe we will follow her journey as she's acquiring those real estate. And give her you can subscribe if you want, and drop a comment. Say that, hey, wealth engineering, this is where you met her. But drop a comment, give a like, and help her on a journey as a YouTuber as well, because that's where she's dropping a lot of knowledge here. But thank you very much. Is there any last word that you would like to say to people before we close the stream? Anything about well building or determination, or anything that you would like to share with the audience?
so I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to just speak on it, and thank you for having me on your platform. I am humbled. Thank you so much. And I want to say, it I always said, if I do it, anybody can do it, because me, and I say it all the time. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I didn't go to college. I didn't do nothing like that. I was just working. When I started working at Walmart, I started making like $8.50 an hour, and I
Mm,
would, work my way up to $20. That's it. So
mm,
we can do it. Just search for the information, because it's out there. That's what I did. I just dig deeper, and I just want to, especially young people, you can do it. Just search for the right information, follow the right people, and just start doing it. And I know it's scary and it's risky, and a house seem like a lot. It's not. It's the bank money. It's not yours. You're not losing much. And a lot of people would think, I'm going to lose this money because what can happen? No, it's the bank money. They're not going to come back for it. All you have to do is just, rent a room out and do house hack, and that's it. It's very simple.
mm.
So
Absolutely, man. Thank you for dropping this. And yes, again, if she can do it, you can do it too. But I don't want to hear you're not nothing, because you may not see it, but not everyone. There is a reason. There is a reason why the 1% are where they are. And it's because it's not necessarily their knowledge. It's not necessarily how street smart they are. It's their drive, their determination. And this type of determination is something that you either born with, you can't really teach it to other people. You have that in you. You have that fire in you, and that is worth something. And
thank
you can see it in your own life. Now that is worth over $1 million. So this is not nothing, Lashes. This is part of the
you.
1% in your country. And if you are part of the 1% in the United States, you are part of the 1% in the world. So let that sink in. Part
Thank
of the 1% of your United States means you are part of the 1% in the world. And this is not nothing. This is literally we 8 billion people are living on planet Earth, and you are part of the 1% of 8 billion people. So it doesn't matter the background, that drive that you have, it manifested himself to over $1 million portfolio. And from what I hear you say, it's a matter of time before it gets to 10 million and go, and it will only expand from there. So thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you again for your determination to motivate us. Now we absolutely have no excuse. I, I want this to be your hashtag. No excuse. Because if you can do it, then everybody else can. You just have to put their mind into it. Get the information. We have podcasts that we're creating to share the information. If you can't join Lashes, connect with her, get some mentorship. I'm sure she would love to answer some of your questions. So whatever it takes, please do that and go from there. But thank you very much again for joining the panel.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. All right, I'll close the streams very quickly. My next stream, I'm going to have that my other guess about how to save taxes and basically legally pay 0% in taxes if you are in North America, Canada, and the US. This is a consultant who's actually doing that. He lives in Dubai, so the time will be off, but I'll do whatever I can to make sure we do this live. So stay alert, guys. I'll put it on my community tab. I'll schedule the stream whenever I'm ready. But if you guys can find the time, if you guys are still awake, I will really appreciate it. And if you have questions about this topic, then definitely tune in to this. But with that said, thank you everyone. Thank you, Lashes. And we'll meet on the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Boss, yeah. JC, bring that fire. Mentally taking you higher. Get the cash flow that you desire. Building that wealth, I should call you sire. You about to run it, I know it. We steady growing, this is the moment. You gotta subscribe, cause you don't wanna miss it. Wealth engineering, it's time to get it. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey.